It working? Think it's working. I'm gonna assume that it's working. Seeing if anyone wants to get in. Father Bishop's Boy Toys. Seeing if anyone wants to join. Yeah, not expecting this to actually hit as good as the other. Last stream was the first time I got any viewers. I don't really expect more than like maybe one or two today. Okay. It's about time to actually start. So this is VolcanoBlock. The entire shtick of it is that, well, skyblock one pack in a volcano. Don't start with trees, only grass, a knife, and lava. I've played it before, so I actually have a good idea of the general progression of the game. As you can see, there's quest book, lots of things to do in it. It's quite the extensive mod pack. First thing you have to do, chop off your own legs. Doesn't mean that they're completely gone, just mostly. And you can make it into bone meal. Because, got a bit of your femur in there. You don't want your grass to burn because you need it for this. You need a number of sticks to start off with. Preferably about 10. Because then you'll have to do a lot less grinding later. It's actually way better luck than I normally get. When starting this world, I only ever got like 2 to 3 before I had to resort to waiting to heal so I could actually get more. Not too difficult, all things considered, but definitely not easy. Takes a bit. But I'll try and keep it quick. Don't want to stagnate for too long. If I'm going to need a farm, I will say so, by the way. And that's why you need it. A wooden hoe. Try and get a few more sticks before I have to, you know. You're actually going to need a total of about 13 sticks, if only because you need to make the wooden hoe and a few other things, but nothing super difficult, just annoying. Click that, and this is where you start getting into the actual quests. See, what you need now is to plant some normie seeds. These can be collected by right-clicking. That's something that this mod pack adds. I know in vanilla you can't do that, and a lot of people from Bedrock might be confused. But in this mod pack, whenever you right-click a fully grown crop, you harvest it, and it replants automatically. No needing new seeds to drop, it just reduces the seed yield slightly in order to counter for that. And this is the kind of thing that normie seeds give you. Nothing too difficult. Not really sure what to say. It needs at least a little bit of time to grow. The start of this mod pack does start out quite slow. You're waiting for everything to grow, even if you can't accelerate it by shifting. And I would recommend trying to eat at least one of everything, because it actually will increase your maximum hearts after so long. It's quite useful. Now we have 4 more normie seeds. We can get an artesia seed. And this one is where the rest of it starts. And it's why we needed those sticks earlier. Just one artesia seed. And once it grows, and you have to break it with your fist. Can sometimes get you multiple, but what we want is the crafting table, which we can turn into a station. Incredibly useful because now, let's get to the drying basin. Just like that. We now have one of the most useful things in the early game. Because of one specific useful utility it gives us. And if you look at the actual thing, you need an oat bucket and a hay bale. We'll grow a few potatoes. It's actually one of the better food sources. Whenever it actually grows. No, it's elastic we're going to need for a while. Oak bucket. Potatoes are really useful in this mod pack, if only because of how much food they give you. For those wondering why, you do this. And they cook out in the open. It's getting to playing Breath of the Wild and throwing your meat on the side of Death Mountain. Only 3 more to go. They'll just start out slow. But hey, that's just kind of what you get when you play a mod pack like this. And we wait. You're gonna need grass. And there's a good reason for it. But first, we start off with farming. Spending this pot actually makes it go faster just because we need more wheat. There is a JEI. It will tell you what you need to craft something. But it's not too hard. For now, we don't need that much. Please note, I said for now. We will need things pretty quickly. In case you couldn't tell, this mod pack starts with a lot of farming. It's one of the mod packs created by Al132, which have since been taken over by someone by the tag of Dark Arcana. Once we have enough grass blocks, 5 should be enough. Give me just a second, I have to do something real quick. And with this, we can actually begin the meat of the mod pack. You need to get a few more of these Artesia seeds, though. As we need to get them in a 3x3 in a 3x3 grid pattern. Come on. There we go. We can save these crafting tables for later, by the way. They will eventually become useful as fuel. And yes, you're probably wondering why we need fuel when we have all of this. That's actually a good question. I don't know. I need to actually gather the artesia seeds in order for it to count, apparently. And here's how this crafting works. Go to the middle one, and put the ones in the corners. Then the one on the outside, then the one in the middle. And it gives you the thing that you were crafting, so. And with that, we now grow the Colonia seed. And it'll grow. And it starts giving us cobblestone every tick. Well, every growth tick specifically. Very useful. Just need to get 64. Which really just means that I need to sit here and craft out a few more. And there we go. From here, we start gathering everything. Pretty much. But at least it cheats someone out of their hard labor. Mostly me. You may be wondering what my comment about the drying basin being so useful earlier was. Well, put simply, we don't have access to much water, and sticks will be hard to come by. This is extremely consistent. Which means now we have the pickaxe. And now we have an infinite water source. With these two things, we've unlocked, well, not a lot, but definitely enough to get us started. This will certainly be useful. Or at least I hope it will. You're probably wondering why I'm building out grass that way. Well, simple fact of the matter is, I like to gather lots of... I need space in order to do my projects, okay? And I like to measure it. Five, six, seven. Two to the ends. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And another one to the end. By laying out the plots as 14 by 14 internally with a 1 block border, it ensures that there will be more than enough room for every project that needs done. And it also gives ample room for farming space. Which is the main reason that I'm gathering so much wheat and turning it into grass blocks. More farming space means more crops, and more crops means more progress. I do find it quite annoying how slow the early game is, if you couldn't already tell. But it's worth it. I quite enjoy this mod pack, actually. And let's gather one more grass for a little reorganizing. With this, the Coblonia seed is actually in a place that's much more useful. And this is a backup. This might be a bit boring at this time, but, well, the viewers gonna have to check it out. The only other time I've seen someone play on this mod pack, they cut this in the actual edited version. The price of content is steep, but one that I'm willing to pay. And now, more crop space. Anyone that's watching will probably already realize an issue that it will come up. An issue that will come up very quickly. And that issue is, what do I do with all of these dang seeds? Well, these seeds just have to go into storage for now. You could theoretically throw them into the lava, but it's wasteful. Especially when some are needed. And they will have a very good use later. One that will save some grinding. Not a lot, but some. And as you expand into this section, more farming space is unlocked. And with that, faster crops. Yeah, I'm realizing in retrospect this probably wasn't the best mod pack to stream, but oh well, I'm doing it now. And at least it's something to listen to sometimes. I know I'm not actually that good at this. I know I'm not really that entertaining. But at least it's not the most boring thing you've ever heard, hopefully. I don't know, maybe you just use me to bore yourself to sleep. Oh well. Don't really know how to do editing, so I can't really do the snappy editing that would make shorts. And I'm not going to bother with a TikTok channel. One, two, three, four. Shit, I forgot to... Welp. This is going to take a bit. I'm not going to pretend like anyone's actually listening to me. I know this isn't the most entertaining thing. This is getting kind of boring. Anyone want to see me do anything else? As I have quite a few other games I could play. I just recommended this game. I just recommended to play Minecraft because someone I know thought it might be interesting. Not sure how accurate that actually will be, though. It's just something to kind of waste time with sometimes. Not the worst thing I could spend my time on. Next goal is actually going to be progress up the tech tree. And of course, it's going to be beat charcoal that builds. Just getting the actual quest fulfilled makes it a little bit easier. Every seed counts. It's extremely easy to crouch into the lava if you're not being careful. And for that reason, making slabs. Sometimes I wish I was actually more talented than I actually am. It's easy to get delusions of grandeur. But sometimes who you are is enough. Even if, all things considered, who I am kind of sucks. Well, what am I going to do about it? Self-improvement's not as easy as people think. It's one thing to think a different way. It's another to act a different way. Sometimes it's easier to pretend to be a different person than it is to actually be a different person. Marking out the place for the next water to be. Yes, I know there's more. I know there is not as much room as I could have put, but it really helps with organization to keep it as 14 by 14 on these grid spaces. with the knowledge that only 4 grid spots need to be in between. It's quite easy to start building up the math. One, two, three, four. I may not be any form of prodigy, but at least I can count, and that's more than some people can say, which is depressing. Oh, are you aware that about a third of all adult Americans cannot properly read at first grade reading level? True. Reading is a use it or lose it skill, and a lot of people don't read enough of anything, not even the text in video games. It makes it extremely easy to just lose the ability to read properly. You can still recognize letters and what sounds they're supposed to make, but it becomes extremely difficult to actually learn how to read properly, let alone fluently. And with the fact that neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to change, actually decreases over time, it means the longer you wait to build up those skills again, the harder it'll be. And therefore, the easier it'll be to make yourself look like a completely incompetent idiot. If only more Americans knew this. And I say that as if I'm not one of them. But at least I learned how to read properly. Although I can't really blame a lot of Americans for that. My fellow Americans were kind of screwed by budget cuts and the lack of a proper education system. Which, once more, is quite depressing. I'm being serious when I say, would anyone want to watch me play anything different? I do have a couple of options. Virtually no one's watching. I might just go back to the Cult of the Lamb. That at least got some engagement. Yes, it's kind of depressing. I thought I actually managed to get some level of engagement from YouTube. Apparently not. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. I didn't want to bother anyone. Didn't think anyone wanted to actually join. Oh well, I'm through most of the boring part of this mod pack at least. Most. The very beginning is quite boring, with just waiting for things to grow. As you have to build up the tech tree, going one step at a time. Which, as you can probably tell, can get quite tedious. Oh well. I actually wonder. I'm part of a. For anyone watching this in the future, I am part of a Discord group, and that's what the Gooberville YouTube channel is. I had the idea that if anyone wants to DM, we could probably do a D&D podcast. How does that sound? I also had an idea. Lots of people would say that a Pokemon game introducing every region would be quite difficult to make. But I'd say it would be quite simple. Choose your starting region and play through the story of that region. Once you've completed that, that is whenever the real game begins. I really need to get a new skin. I have noticed that the 2 times that I have played Minecraft, there has been little to no engagement whatsoever. Probably because a lot of people that watch Minecraft are children, and my videos are not marked for children. Namely because I don't want to be demonetized for swearing at idiots. Not that I'm monetized anyways. I'm nowhere near that big yet. Also, if I ever figure out text to speech, I'd let people roast me on stream. I haven't been able to figure out a good program for that. I literally Googled it. I went to the second page and everything, and yet there was nothing that I could find. Nothing usable, at least. Not for me. Which is annoying. I'm honestly wondering, would you guys want to see me play a different game? This can be quite boring just watching someone farm in Minecraft for a while, even if it's a mod pack. Oh, I suppose it's more of a chill stream. Nothing really intense going on. I'll only be streaming for like another 40 minutes or so. I have work tomorrow in the morning. I could always play a Pokemon randomizer. I have a few games I could do that with. I mean, there is also, I also do have a few ROM hacks I could try. Maybe the pondering is the only thing I can actually be good at. Not like I actually end up doing anything I think about. Maybe my streams can just be used as some form of something to go to sleep to. Certainly boring enough for it. I honestly just saw that message. I don't even know what that means. How would I lose? I suppose I could throw this stuff into lava, but that's about it. Oh, due to the way this mod pack works, even if I die, it'll just end up in a grave, which will be teleported to my inventory the moment I use a key on it. And with this, the first patch is filled. There always are a bunch of other things I could play. Don't really have a webcam, so might as well just start listing stuff and see if anyone's interested. I know I started the stream late today. Well, that's actually because of the mod pack specifically. It's VolcanoBlock. It's a skyblock mod pack that takes place surrounded by lava, with no tree. Start with a 5x5 grid of nothing but grass, surrounded by cobblestone, and from that point, just lava. I mean, you also have like a wooden knife and quest book, but that's it. Honestly, not a difficult mod pack. Just start from next to nothing and you have to build your way up to everything else. Have you all heard of Backpack Hero? Or perhaps Slay the Spire? Slay the Spire can be interesting. I think I'm probably going to switch over games. If only because VolcanoBlock is fairly annoying in the early game. Might stream that at a later date once I've gotten a little bit further, gotten a lot of the farming out of the way. I'm going to switch over to Slay the Spire. Yeah, pretty much just off camera mining. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the actual. Closing out of the Minecraft mod pack. You can probably tell how long VolcanoBlock takes, given that I've been streaming for a little over an hour, barely got anywhere. This and the Watcher are the only two characters I have not actually managed to get the plus achievement with, which would entail being the heart of the spire. And I am intent on doing it with the Ironclad. I have to track through that. I can hit 3, or I can hit 2. I'm gonna have to hit 2. Don't really have much other choice. Well, shit, don't mind if I do. One of the better cards for this class. And remove a card from my deck. I don't really need all these defends. Just get rid of these. And yes, please. The powers are incredibly good. And I'm grinding until I get that relic. Shit relic, but okay. God, I wish I had enough money for that. Oh well. I'm getting armaments. And removing another defend. And upgrading armaments. This actually has a really good combo for those who are unaware. But it's not something I need to execute right now. After all, Neo's Lament's still active. Although that was the last one. Karen's Ashes. When you exhaust a card, deal 3 damage to it. Not bad. Not bad. and obtain the ruby key. Healing is 50% more effective during combat. I'll take the sapphire key. It's necessary for what I'm going for. And with that, I will gain 3 block at the end of my turn. Sounds pathetic on the surface, but that's 3 block I gain every turn. And now I gain 7 block at the end of every turn. This stacks and keeps going. And this ends the battle. With this character, you want as many attacks as possible. Full glass cannon mode. Armaments, metallicize, and let's go with a bash. Weaken it for future turns. Let's go with this. Massive chunk of damage. This will only take 7 damage. Just about heal that at the end of combat anyways. And goodbye. That is actually incredibly powerful. Not the worst turn I've had so far. I got one where I was almost immediately taken out. Max HP plus 3. With ease. Feed. An Iron Wave. And metallicize. Not the most difficult game, if you know what you're doing. Sadly, that is where most people seem to fall flat. Apparently, knowing what you're doing is quite the high benchmark to clear. And needed that. Whoa. Stronger than before. Quite an easy fight, all things considered. And digging for another relic. Gambling chip. Not bad. And confirm. Not the best, but not the worst either. Sure. I'll use it, why not? You can almost completely negate damage with the metallicize. And with this, I am immortal. Well, practically. Yeah, fuck you, arms. Hemokinesis, which literally translates to blood control. And as per the rules of this game, whenever you beat a boss, you gain a full heal. Exume, quite useful. And the Black Star. Always taking the Black Star. The white one is not nearly as cool. I can hit 3 different bosses in the same go. I have to take this path. I simply have to take it. Replace those 3. Warcry. Power Rangers, go Zeo, Coco Power Rangers, go Zeo, Coco Power Rangers, Zeo Power Rangers. I genuinely wonder if switching games actually helped me in any capacity. Probably not. But at least you feel better. Iron Wave. Defend. Negate. This man. Hemokinesis. And feed. Discard and add that cultist potion right there. Iron Wave. I must simply reshuffle. That did not help me at all. Well, shit. And Iron Wave the bitch. And at least I'm only taking 7 damage this turn. For those unaware, this is actually how you get to the end point of the first Slay the Spire. Not quite the worst game. I do quite hate that. I do wish I was able to retrieve my gold. That is simply depressing. Oh well, perhaps next time. I will be needing that. I will be replacing you, and you. If I can get the power cards to be upgraded, that would be perfect. Leaving those to be improved later. Two stages of metallicize, and the iron wave. Rupture and iron wave once more. Then I might as well defend, to reduce as much damage as possible, you see. That was pathetic. Completely pathetic. I don't even know why I try anymore. Remove the block. It does not aid me. The bash is even worse. Choose one of 20 cards, you say. Perfect. Iron Wave, Rupture, and Exhume. Metallicize. This is perfect. I really thought that would work. I may or may not be stupid. Ah, I am stupid. Good to know. Well, at least I've negated the majority of the damage. Even if it does leave me quite incompetent. But that's more of a problem that I have created for myself. Sometimes I wish that I was more competent than I am. But no point in wishing for the impossible. Hey, I want the kunai. Can you give me the kunai? It's quite imperative I receive the kunai. Oh, Zio, powered up for more. Go, Zio, Rangers at the core. Zio, Zio, go Power Rangers. Go, Zio, Power Rangers. Go, Zio, go Power Rangers. Zio, Power Rangers. I will not be surviving this. Well, shit. I wish you get the shovel again, though. Although it is probably for the better that I end stream here. I will see you all another day.